I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Atar.
How is Mama Drama trauma different from other traumas? Trauma is a soul disassociation caused by an extreme experience of abandonment and/or abuse. The resulting trauma is perceived as an ever-present pain body triggered by external stimuli such as a memory, a person, or situation. As these activating factors are unavoidable, traumatized individuals self-medicate through addictions to chemical and mind-altering substances in an attempt to silence the stimuli and avoid the pain. MDT is different from other traumatic disorders because it is the mother of all trauma. For more information about Mama Drama Trauma, visit mamadramatrauma.info. Welcome, Pisces Moon people, Aquarius Pisces Moon people. Hey, how are you? Aquarius Moon in the sidereal. The soul astrology. This is the astrology that looks at us from a soul perspective. In the Western astrology, you are Pisces moon sign. It is an earth-centric, ego-centric astrology. And so Great Mother speaks to us from our emotional and intuitive states, respectively. From the Western, the emotional, the thought plane, the actual consciousness of what we are thinking, what we are believing, our attitudinal disposition, and our source energy, that intuitive soul, still small voice, Holy Spirit plane of the soul astrology. If you are one of maybe a fifth of the population who is also Pisces in the sidereal, you want to look at the Pisces Aries reading. That's going to give you some real insight into your actual sidereal astrology. Some people have both. You know, most of us have that 24-degree difference, and that's a huge difference because we have 30 degrees per sign. And so we just kind of go the sign before with the sidereal, right? 24 degrees before. But if you're in those latter degrees, 26, 27, 28, 29 degrees of Pisces, well then it's likely you are a 4-degree Pisces moon sign in the sidereal, rather. Okay, so double check at the links below. These readings are all about what inspires our solar action. Okay, the moon is what empowers the sun to act, and so Great Mother is that cosmic black hole that inspires all life, and that life is within us, as well as the Great Father expression in our physical form, that ego body in the earth plane right now. Okay, and so that's the Western. So have a little bit for everybody there. Okay, have a little bit for everybody. But if you're tuned in, then you are more than likely a Pisces Western moon sign with an Aquarius sidereal moon sign, which with this March new moon in Aquarius Pisces is in your first house, because Aquarius in the sidereal is the new moon, and so that is your first house in the sidereal. Pisces new moon is actually on the cusp. Great Mother readings go with the actual energy that's active, and so we have a Pisces Aries cusp, and so that is your first house, second house energy. So we're going to talk about that as it relates to the chakras that are being activated right now. This is a new spread. If you've been with Great Mother Speaks messages for a while, you've been subscribing, well then you know that we know Great Mother speaks to us with that still small voice, the shadows of the lunar cycles, and through signs and symbols. And so our readings mostly have to do with the shadows that are coming up in our lives and the opportunities they offer. We don't usually look at them that way, do we? But we do here, because we operate from three principles. We are divine children of the Great Mother, Father, God, who are dearly loved, therefore never condemned or judged, and we are never left alone. So those three principles are what I use to govern the work I do as an inner work life coach with people suffering from mama drama trauma. I should say healing from mama drama trauma. I have amazing clients who actually inspired these videos because they said, my mom wants to know what I'm doing, my husband wants to know what I'm doing, my aunt wants to know what I'm doing, my kids, I want to know, you know, I can't explain it to them. And so these readings are for people with mama drama trauma and those who love us, or those who want to know more. There are many people who watch the videos who work with people who deal with the condition in which the mother has projected unhealed aspects of herself onto her child or children, causing emotional and or physical trauma. In cases where the mother is unwilling, unable, or unavailable to heal, she's just not ready, then I support clients to do what I call loving detachment. And it is a practice that is well known in the rehabilitation professions of addiction and alcoholism. Detachment. We add the loving to it because we know that we are all what? Divine children of the Great Mother, Father, God, who are dearly loved. All of us are. And as this deck tells us, the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck based on the 49 scenes of the Wizard of Oz, the variant energies of Great Mother, which we also represent, from terrible mother to good mother to great mother, are all within us, as well as within our mothers and our fathers, be they birth or surrogate. So for you Pisces moon people, Pisces moon, very feminine. Pisces is ruled by Jupiter in the sidereal, and it is ruled by Neptune in the western. But more for you, with your soul energy being in Aquarius in the sidereal, that is ruled by Saturn. So for you, you may be actually feeling like there is a whole new soul identity trying to come through. You have a whole new spiritual perception, a whole new spiritual outlook. You may be studying new things. This may be the first time you've tuned into Great Mother Speaks, for example, and you're like, what the heck is this? But I have been drawn to this by my soul. That is because that first house energy, your identity, your self-awareness, is all about this kind of attitudinal disposition that your soul has right now, with that first house being in that Aquarius moon. Now this Aquarius moon, the sidereal, is in the nakshatra of Pura Adrabad, and Pura Adrabad is ruled by Jupiter. Now Jupiter, of course, is the benefic, opulent, bountiful planet of expansion. It's a big old planet, and it is right now in Libra in the sidereal, and Scorpio in the western. So you have some ninth house energy going on here anyway, which is about that kind of sagacious wisdom, higher thought, higher learning. You may be doing some long distance traveling over this new moon period, or planning it. The new moon is about planning. It is about projecting your wants and your desires onto this new lunar cycle. And so the recent past for you, as you kind of move into this Jupiterian expansion of your spirituality and of your identity, of your new beginnings on a soul level, the Pisces Aries cusp is in your second house, emotionally, from that ego level, okay? And so you may be revising your values as a result of this new unction and this new expansion for spirituality, this new identity. You may be reassessing how you are using your money. You may have once used to loan people a lot of money, but now you're like, hey, I have a new goal and a new aspiration, or I'm creating boundaries. And so how I am using my money, or what I treasure in life, what's important to me, is changing. This has happened because you have really gotten in tune recently, Aquarius, Pisces, Moon people, with your own self-compassion, with what it is that you need to move forward on your yellow brick road. Of course, Dorothy is the poster child of Mama Drama Trauma, and this is the card of the crescent moon heart chakra when she meets the 3 along the yellow brick road. Well, she's already met Scarecrow, but Kuan Yin is the card of self-compassion when we see the compassion that she has as she's introduced to the others, and she integrates the Scarecrow, who has a need for a brain, this Tin Man who has a need for a heart, the Lion who has a need for courage, into her circle to follow the yellow brick road, because she identifies with those aspects within herself. Aquarius, Pisces, Moon people, where is it within yourself that you are identifying a need to integrate your own thinking? Assert that your mind is right. Assert that your heart is well, that you have enough courage to follow your heart. The heart is the crossroads between the ego and the soul. And so as of the recent past, you have come to an understanding of that. And so presently, you are receiving some rewards. This is when the 3 return to the Oz's castle, and he gives them not what they had asked, but what they needed. They had asked for their respective wishes, but he gave them, instead of a heart, a medal, instead of a brain, a diploma. Okay, and so etc., etc. And so what we see here is that you are receiving unexpected rewards. There has been a journey that you've been on, very difficult for you to attain something that you really, really wanted. And now you're at a place where, with this new identity coming in, that you see that really what you needed is what you have. So it may not have been, Aquarius, Pisces, Moon people, something that you had asked for a month ago, a year ago, but what you're being rewarded with now, with this waxing gibbous moon third eye card, is the revision of that original desire, the editing of that original desire, the reevaluation of that original desire, so that you can receive what it is your higher self, your soul, wants in that first house energy, which is a new identity. This is a huge cyclical indication of an evolutionary initiation when you're dealing with first house energies with the sidereal astrology. And so this Aquarius new moon is a first house energy. It is the lunar new year for the Aquarius in your sidereal. So we have lunar new year readings. They come once a year with your new moon. And for my Pisces moon people, yours has just been posted with the in the last couple of weeks. It's been posted, and so you already have that up for this lunar new year for Pisces with this new moon. And so you are looking at being rewarded for the tenacity, the determination, the insight, the discipline that you've had to follow through on a dream or aspiration that may not have necessarily come through, because now with this new identity, your values are changing. Your feeling of what's important to you has changed. He wanted a brain, but when he received that diploma, that was better than a brain, because not only did that clarify what a brain can do, it balanced his internal uncertainty and confirmed what he already has. With that third eye, we know that soul wisdom. And so we all already have a degree of soul wisdom. It's a matter of us confirming that within and for ourselves oftentimes. And that is what Great Mother is saying, that this is where you are right now with relationship to this new moon. And this is the new moon right before the equinox, right before we have the full Aries new moon next month in April on the 15th. This one is that cusp, that Pisces Aries moon that is all about for you right now, you're processing everything that you have learned up to this point. Okay, you are receiving some rewards. And so as a result of getting that diploma instead of your brain, for example, or you had been perhaps working for a degree, and instead of you getting the degree, you ended up changing your major. And as a result of changing your major, you met someone who needed someone that had the skills that you have, and now you have a job paying twice as much as you used to have, and you thought that you needed to go to school. You know, that might be you. This is the energy that you're working with, Aquarius, Pisces, Moon people. So Great Mother is inviting you to look at what is happening in your life right now that is pointing you to the blessing of the situation, because the processing card is a balsamic moon card. It is a third chakra balsamic moon card. It is, in fact, when Dorothy returns home from her journey, and Aunt Em is telling her as she's sharing her journey, oh, it was just a dream. You just hit your head and had a bad dream. Every mother wants their child to be safe and secure and happy based on what her perception of that is. And Aunt Em's perception was that what she was talking about was not something that was going to lend her safety and security, but that her being back home and knowing that she was back home was what she needed to focus on. But Dorothy was wanting to integrate. She was wanting to process her journey. Where for you in your life are you finding that perhaps in that example that you were going to school, but now you have a job paying twice as much? Maybe someone is saying, well, you still need to go ahead and get that degree, because what if a job comes along that they want to promote you, but you don't have that, and blah, 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 this, and this. Where in your life are you still wanting to process the blessings of your journey thus far, but there's some resistance, there's some feedback, there's some background noise keeping you from doing that? Every mother will do that because that's part of the maternal soul contract. Part of the maternal soul contract is to remind us constantly and consistently of our journey. And since at this particular point in your journey with gut chakra, balsamic moon energy, which is about recuperation, relaxation, recreation, recreating, first house energy, then mothers always want us to take that quiz, don't they? They always want us to take that test to make sure we're ready for the next level. And she will never, ever confirm that we are, unless she is a great mother and she has the skills and soul experience to do so. She will never confirm that. We will have to confirm that for ourselves. Because with Mama Drama Trauma, the soul lesson is self-love and spiritual independence. So we have to process things on our own and graduate ourselves, don't we? We have to give ourselves the diploma, don't we? We have to give ourselves the medal of courage, don't we? Based on our own integrity. And so your present situation has to do with the energy of androgyne. Androgyne is that energy of integrity. It is that primordial yin yang energy that is within all of us and within all things. In fact, all of the ancient languages divide words between masculine and feminine, the anima and the animus. Well, of course, Pisces is a feminine sign, and Aquarius is a masculine sign. So throughout the ego soul relationship, there's masculine and femininity. Soul energy is great mother energy. Ego energy is great father energy. And depending on where you come with these energies, the law of destiny and free will express itself accordingly. We have here the law card. All the law cards are great father cards of androgyne. This is the law of destiny and free will. Destiny and free will is all about you activating the power to manifest what you came here to do. This is a single yin, double yang card. And so it's a third quarter moon card that has to do with release, forgiveness, letting go. And in order to do that, we have to tap into exactly what it is we're releasing in order to actively let it go so that we can live our own free will. Many times we are connected to people, bonded to people, tied to people. Energetically, we are bound to a particular energetic relationship. Mama drama trauma is an excellent example. Until we are able to release that third moon energy, what the source of that bond is, so that we can act with free will. We tend to reenact patterns of behavior, patterns of dysfunction, until we are able to identify that pattern so that we can express ourselves in our own unique way. This is where your soul is right now, that unique first house energy. We all incarnate with that yang energy, that Aquarius yang energy. And the Pisces is the energy of this Pisces Aries in the Western, which is first, second house energy, which is really resonating with that new identity, particularly as it relates to your values, your daily routines, the environment that you want to be in. These are all things that you're starting to think about, and that you're actually releasing old ways of how you were in the world and how you felt comfortable. This fifth chakra in the middle of the androgyne card has to do with expression and how you're expressing yourself, expressing your values, how you're speaking, what you're listening to. Fifth chakra always reminds me of the ear, nose, and throat doctor. And so how you're expressing, how you're listening to people. Maybe you have had patterns with mama drama or daddy drama trauma, and you've heard these same toxic conversations over and over again, and you know when they're about to start up and you know how they're going to end. But maybe you're hearing something new now, because your integrity is coming forward in such a way that it is allowing you to create new expectations for yourself. So even though the old pattern may have been, this conversation always ends with an argument and everyone walking out, integrity is telling ourselves the truth. And so this balsamic moon card in the fourth chakra is a heart chakra card, the crossroads between the ego and the soul. And you're hearing new things. You are allowing yourself to intuit from a higher level what that situation, what that pattern, what that toxicity, what that bond is about. And maybe what you're now hearing is that she's not even talking to me. She's just playing this recorder in her mind, and there's a trigger that goes off that has nothing to do with me, and now I'm hearing it, yes, the same thing over and over again, and it's in her mind. It has absolutely nothing to do with me. This is the scene when Dorothy returns home and everyone is at her bedside, and she notices, as you see here, the law of eternal grace and mercy. She's saying, you were there, and you were there, and you were there. Integrity. She's telling the truth, even though she knows she's home. And even though her mother says, no, that was just a bad dream, as she processes that, she continues from the gut chakra, balsamic moon card, rest, recuperation, relaxation, to the heart chakra, moving up. And she moves up and she says, no, you were there, and you were there, and you were there. To Zeke, Hickory, Huck, Professor Marvel, who was Oz, Huck, who was the lion, Hickory, who was Scarecrow, and they're just kind of smiling at her. And so that integrity to tell the truth anyway about your new identity, Aquarius, Pisces, moon people, to tell yourself anyway the truth about what it is that you now value. That is what you are wanting to do right now. That is where you are. And the dance that you're doing with your shadow perhaps has more to do with what other people are saying again. There's something about this thing that you were wanting to express, and the blessing that came through for you unexpectedly that others may not be allowing you to see, or that you are allowing others to block the blessing, because we have another wax and give a spoon card. So we need to revise, Aquarius, Pisces, moon people. We need to refine. We need to reevaluate some things that have happened recently, don't we? So that you can see the blessing. See, this is the majority light card. waxing, because it's waxing toward the full moon. So you have received a reward. It may not seem like it, but the Ixchel card, the Mayan goddess of fertility, the moon, of the moon cycles, of the rainbow, is all about seeing beyond the obvious. This is a second chakra waxing gibbous moon card. So this is your desires, and so your deepest desires are being fulfilled. Revise your current mindset so you can see that. This is when Professor Marvel and Dorothy meet in the camp along the road, and he's giving her a reading, but he has taken a picture from her runaway basket of her and Aunt Em, and he's saying, there's a woman who loves you very much, who misses you. Well, of course he sees the picture. What is the picture that you see in your mind? Not what other people see. What is it that you see? That is where your self-creation comes from. That is where your second chakra revising energy comes from. And that second chakra energy is closely related to that energy of the second house of values, of what you treasure, of what's important to you. Although the second house is ruled by Jupiter from a soul perspective in the sidereal astrology, so we're talking about their Pisces and Sagittarius. What we're really saying is that the second house and the second chakra are giving you an opportunity to look at your personal desires and kind of amplify them with this Piscean energy that's available to you, and clearly see it with your philosophy and your insight and your integrity that you have now, that you have, Aquarius, Pisces moon people, not someone else, but the integrity that you have. And then you will be able to experience that eternal grace and mercy that's available for you regardless of what appearances may be. Because remember, after he said that, about that, she immediately jumped up and said, oh, I've got to go home. I've got to go home. But it wasn't time for her to go home, was it? Great Mother quickly diverted her path with the twister. And so it's time for you to see, Aquarius, Pisces moon people, the reality that is there for you. It's a beautiful reality. It's a reality that is allowing your soul to come forth anew with this first house energy. Beautiful spring equinox energy. If you're in the southern hemisphere and this is the fall, this is a wonderful harvest period for you with this released third quarter moon. Absolutely gorgeous. Some hidden influences with the soul energy, the sidereal energy in the Aquarius. Well, we're talking about the Mayan Egyptian goddess of justice. And so this is a confirmation that it is difficult for you to see what that blessing is. You're probably thinking, now what is she talking about? I have been sitting up here thinking she's been talking and I can't think of nothing. No, I wasn't going to school. No, I wasn't, starting to take walks, and then I started working out harder, and now my health is better, and I wasn't even trying to get healthy. I just wanted to take a walk to get a breath of air. I'm not seeing anything in my life where all of a sudden I'm being blessed. And so this is what the Maya card is saying. The Maya card is saying that yes, this is very difficult for you to see that justice, Aquarius, Pisces moon people. So Great Mother's coming through with this first quarter moon third eye card, and she's saying that this is really a soul level thing. It really is. So maybe from the Piscean second house energy, it may be very difficult for you to see that new value situation. She's definitely confirming that, because this is the scene actually when the three confront they confront Oz, and they're really upset. Okay, they're really upset after they realize that he doesn't have what he's promised them after they've gotten the broom. And so he did have something for them even greater, than what they expected by rewarding them. But see, that's another third eye card. And so what the invitation is for you is to look a little bit deeper into this integrity, what's true for you, what is really a blessing for you, not what other people consider blessings, but you already, Pisces moon people, have a very high sense of mystic authority and insight, imaginative power, psychic sensitivity. And so use that, don't discount that, and get in touch with who has been there, because this card of integrity also indicates people in our lives who are close to us who may not remember our soul relationships from past lives, our soul closeness. And so sometimes we are so deep and so intuitive, we remember things like that. We have dreams about things like that. And because we know we can't express that with other people, they'll think us crazy, they'll think we're crazy, they'll commit us. Or if you've had mama drama trauma, you've spoken the truth and that's gotten you in trouble, and you've just been beat down, been beat down so much, it's hard for you to get in touch with that. But Great Mother is inviting you to reactivate that sensitivity, because it's not anything to be afraid of, dear one. It will ground you. This is a first quarter moon, first quarter moon, first chakra card, Kali. And this is when Dorothy sings Somewhere Over the Rainbow, way up high. There's a place that I've heard of once in a lullaby. You know, there's a place that you've heard of, and that you know and that you remember. Just because everybody else doesn't remember, that's where you are going to see this blessing from the Primordial Father. Primordial Father is the law, the logos, the word. And the law card that you have here is the law of destiny and free will. See, that's a single yin. Okay, with that intuitive, receptive energy, double yang. And so, yes, there's a lot of strong ego energy, yang energy, earth energy, which is making it hard for you to see the blessing and the justice. But first quarter moon tells us it's time to act based on a decision to face that challenge. And that challenge can be faced and overcome by remembering that you reground yourself, Pisces moon people, by singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. You reground yourself by reconnecting to a total sense of healing, wholeness, self-compassion, and a conscious and consistent experience of trusting your intuition, trusting your higher power, trusting your higher guidance. If this is really a struggle for you, which is what this reading would indicate, as this is the center of your reading, then your new moon wish, and new moons is where we make wishes, full moons or where we release what needs to be released based on the energy. With this Piscean Aries energy, well, then that would be a wonderful wish for you, wouldn't it? I want to easily find myself free of the addiction to self-doubt. I want to easily find myself able to release the tendency to resist inner joy. I want to release feelings of helplessness and fear surrounding my integrity and intuition based on what other people think and how other people perceive things, so that I can self-create according to my own integrity and my own insights. Get down with it. Get down with it. Work with the lunar energies. You know, it doesn't have to be this big old woo-woo thing and you got to do this and burn these candles and do that. I mean, you can, and it's useful to amplify the energy with clear intention, which is what I'm sharing with you, or wishes to do that. But you know what? You can also just wish it from your heart and really focus on it and pay attention to the seeds that you plant in your soul. And you can work with it that way, because you have Jupiter in your 9th house, you know, this year until November. And so you have a lot of expansion of this sagacious, intuitive wisdom that is supporting all of this. What needs to be let go of is that victimhood. You know, this is your let go card in the let go position. This is a second chakra crescent moon card. Crescent moon is that planting moon card. And of course, I would encourage you again to look at your Lunar New Year reading, because what she is cautioning you about, Aquarius, Pisces moon people, is that because you have this Jupiterian benefic expansive energy in your 9th house of higher thinking, maybe you are a teacher. Okay, maybe you are a guru to people, but because you are in a new place of identity, you probably don't want to release the past, how you've been perceived in the past, but you're aware you're going through something, and so there's self-compassion there, but there's also a sense of victimhood in which you feel that you're being kind of pushed along a soul path that you don't want to go. And the second chakra in this deck is symbolized by the Ankh. That is an indication that your own personal desires, you may feel, are not being heard or are not being fulfilled. And so that's why you're not seeing this blessing thing. You're seeing resistance. You may be experiencing that a little bit. But for those of you who are feeling the blessing, and you do see that blessing that's in your life, don't allow any doubts about your worthiness for the blessing to cause any feelings of victimhood either. So she's saying either way, whether you are working with the energies or not, these periods that go through our astrological houses from 1 to 12, and so you're back at 1 and 2 again, can either be opportunities of outstanding integration, as we see with these balsamic moon cards when Dorothy returns home. All the scenes when she returns home are balsamic moon cards according to the chakras, where you have this second chakra energy and heart chakra energy. It can be very fortuitous where you stand your ground, or it can cause some withering of your inner strength, some withering of that power. So she's saying that the law card that Great Father is providing is a double yang energy to give you that extra push, to give you that extra encouragement to actually activate that yin energy in the world with your new moon wishes, as just suggested a moment ago. Because the advice that Great Mother has for you, Aquarius, Pisces moon people, is that by recognizing that you do feel alone, by recognizing that you do feel that in some way you have been ill-treated by someone or a situation, and you're not really seeing the situation, you will be able to reground yourself this new moon. This is a new moon root chakra card, and you have root chakra here with the fear situation, the heart of your reading, that you are kind of questioning this new identity, questioning the blessings that you've received, even though they don't feel perhaps or seem like new blessings. And she's saying that by acknowledging that, just by acknowledging the truth, your integrity, hey, you were there, oh, you're gonna act like you weren't there, okay, so y'all just gonna leave me hanging, huh? Y'all just gonna leave me hanging? That's okay. Just acknowledge it. We don't know always why those situations happen. All we know is that we are divine children of the Great Mother, Father, God, who are dearly loved, never judged or condemned, and therefore never left alone. That's all we know. That's all we know. And we also know that we incarnate with this unique cosmic calculus. Here you're having a collective celestial reading for the unconsciousness of the Aquarius, Pisces moon people. You do a soul reading for this information. You do the ego sun reading for your collective consciousness. You want to know about your sun group. And not every sign is the same. Not every person within a sign operates and acts the same, which is why moon readings are very good. And I encourage you to get those for a more precise reading, because these moon cycles in Pisces and Aries, and with relationship to this feeling orphaned for you Aquarius, Pisces moon people, root chakra is ruled by Saturn. And Saturn right now in the sidereal is in Sagittarius. So you have this Sagittarius energy with Jupiter amplified in your 9th house in Libra, and then you have Saturn in Sagittarius. And so for you, that really is bringing out that you do have the power, to live according to your own destiny and your own free will, regardless of what others do. It may be like the dark night of the soul. It may be like a new moonlight, but that is not anything that should deter you. That is not anything that you even should fear. Just like Dorothy, she sang to her mother, you know, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. There's a place that I've heard of once in a lullaby. Her mother was gone. That's why Aunt Em took care of her. And she went back to her mother of all mothers, way up high in the sky, great mother energy. That's enough to reground us any and every time. We just have to decide to take the action to face the challenge. First quarter moon energy, new moon energy. We have to allow ourselves to be open to the void, to the mystery, so that we can cultivate a new life. And that's what this first house energy is all about. We have people that are in our soul group to help us refine, to help us revise, to help us to recreate in this life. Many times we go through astrological houses and cycles all the time, but because we have free will, we might not actually always experience the evolutionary growth on a soul level, and therefore we have disalignment between the ego and the soul, and we consistently experience things such as ill health, such as psychological issues, etc., etc. But if we choose to use the yang energy that's being offered to you with this Pisces Aries moon. Aries is masculine energy. Pisces is feminine energy. So you have a lot of feminine energy, and great fathers come through with this double yang for you. Now Aquarius is masculine in the soul, but you need more. You need action. You need yang energy to come through with regrounding yourself from this sense, because it's kind of overwhelming you at this particular point. Not in the sense that you know, everybody's feeling sorry for themselves or anything like that, but in a sense that you just energetically may feel blockage in moving forward in your life. And that doesn't have to be the case when you have Pachamama energy all around you. Gaia, the variant energy of Great Mother, which is nature, and the trees, the fairies, the wind, the water, all around us. Even if you are in cold weather, just opening a window for a second and breathing in the fresh air in the bathroom, closing the door, doing that for about 5 minutes, or just standing outside underneath a protected area for a while, you know, is just very invigorating to the physical body. We don't speak here about the ego body as a negative thing. If it was negative, we wouldn't have an ego body. We need a body in order to animate this experience. Okay, the anima needs an animus. And so Earth Mother is the energy that activates Great Father energy of the actual physical earth. That's why Great Father energy in many cultures is the symbol for Earth in many Eastern cultures, because it is the physical manifestation of Great Mother energy. Now this is a waning gibbous moon card. This is sharing and thanksgiving. That's how we know this is going to really help you to release some of the fear, just connecting with her energy, just your physical body not feeling so restricted, okay, with that Saturn energy. That's in Capricorn in the Western. And so that Western, you know, energy, you know, having to do with that 11th house energy. And so maybe there's some real issues, you know, with this connecting with other people as it relates to, you know, the public, as it relates to specifically groups and friends and family members. And so that Saturnal energy in your 11th house is real indicative of this challenge to see things on your own terms because of the resistance of others. And so Great Mother's coming through, and she's saying that in order to release the fear of the approval of others, it's really necessary. Do your new moon wishes, you know, really own your intuitive powers, your sensitivity, your empathic abilities to see the truth for what it is, okay, and own it regardless of what other people are. You know, it's not about them. It's about you being able to experience synthesis, Aquarius, Pisces moon people. in order for you to have the experience of everything coming together for you in your life, of knowing that all of it has been worthwhile. The full moon third eye card is the card when Dorothy is greeted once again at the end of her yellow brick road path by Great Mother, who comes to rescue her from Oz, Great Father energy, which is all about the do. And we do need to do to activate our yin experience, don't we? Okay, to release what that energy is into the physical world for experience. But when we have done all we can do, which is what Oz had done in his makeshift rewards to the three after he didn't have what they wanted, but he gave them more. Okay, again, a third eye card. This is right before the full moon. He rewards them, but then Scarecrow says, what about Dorothy? He tries to get her home in the balloon, but it descends back down to the ground, which is where Glinda the Good Witch, Great Mother, approaches Dorothy again and says, all you have to do is click your heels 3 times. Body, mind, soul. Things are coming together for you, Aquarius, Pisces, Moon people, whether it feels like it is or not. Great Mother is coming through, and she's telling you that you are integrating an entire previous phase of evolutionary growth right now in your life. And it's taken a great deal of your energy, which is why she is trying to shift your focus into looking at what you have learned up to this point and trusting what you have learned up to this point. Yes, she's acknowledging the self-compassion that you have for yourself and for your journey. And so she wants to take that to the next level of the full illumination that things are working out as they should for you, on behalf of you, with you in your life. So by the full moon, by the time we have our full moon in Scorpio, okay, we're going to have a full moon Virgo, Scorpio. It's going to be on a cusp. We want to remember that things are coming together for you. They are coming together for you as you work with Great Mother energy in nature, as you accept feelings of alienation and being alone. But see, you're embarking on a new path. So it's almost like you've moved to a new place and you're making new friends all over again. Okay, it's that kind of energy. It's not having to do with anything that you've done wrong or that anyone else has done wrong. It's just the nature of the journey for you that you have at this particular time, and that is being manifested. A possible outcome of all of this is that you will really embrace your new identity in such a way you're going to not even recognize yourself, Aquarius, Pisces, Moon people. Your new values and the things that you treasure in your life, in terms of your time, in terms of your resources, in terms of your friends, may completely change. And so that's the blessing in disguise. That alienation, that feeling of not being understood, that feeling of being orphaned and all that kind of stuff, the blessing in disguise about that is it makes room for what? New friends. That's the new moon. So this is the new moon. Great Mother is really emphasizing this. This is your only new moon card in the entire spread. And so she's really emphasizing that quite possibly for you, by embracing what the soul has been downloading to you. Okay, we upload our emotions to soul. And so that's kind of like, how soul assesses where the body mind is. But the soul downloads to us intuitive knowledge. And so the intuitive knowledge that you have is that this is a new beginning of your identity. That Aquarius masculine yang energy is stepping forward with a whole new physical experience, Aquarius, Pisces, Moon people. And that's pretty wild. Okay, throat chakra energy. Okay, ruled by Mercury. And, this mercurial energy that's all about Gemini, Virgo energy communicating. You may have a completely new daily routine. You may be speaking different things, again, hearing different things, hearing things more clearly than you have in the past based on your having processed what's going on with integrity. Okay, that tape that's playing in someone else's mind, and you have stepped back enough to balsamic moon here to process it and to really rejuvenate and recreate in what the truth is, not from someone else's perspective, but from what you have self-recreated in yourself. And so now it's pretty wild, it's pretty fun, it's pretty intuitive. New moon energy is completely intuitive. Balsamic moon energy is right before the new moon. This is the download moon phase. This is when we get downloads from Great Mother about how to move forward and how to plan during the new moon phase. More than likely, as you work with these energies, Aquarius, Pisces, Moon people, you're going to really feel, and I mean that from this new lunar year for you. This is your lunar new year. And as you watch that video and throughout the year, lunar new years move backwards. The typical lunar cycle goes from new moon to crescent to full moon to balsamic. Lunar new year starts with the new moon, but it goes backwards. It goes into balsamic, third quarter, full moon, and then back to crescent. And this is third quarter moon. And so I would say that by the within about 6 months, you're going to really be feeling the grace and mercy. You're going to have new friends. This is the Great Father card, the law card of soul guidance and guardian. And those guardians along the yellow brick road, this heart chakra card, okay? This heart chakra here with the crescent moon, when she met the three along the path and integrating those aspects of ourselves, those scarecrow, tin man, and lion aspects of ourselves so that we can grow into a new identity with new values. This going to the law card of Jesus is saying that yin energy of those downloads and connecting and communicating with others in new ways is going to allow you to feel this loving protection by then. You may not feel and know these blessings now, as we've said with the Ra card, but you will by then, having worked with these energies as Great Mother has suggested. Aren't you glad that you're watching this so that you know that by working with these energies, by taking time going out in nature, especially as the weather lightens up for some of you who are in the colder climates, in acknowledging really how you feel orphaned so that you can release these things. Okay, the law cards are all release, forgiveness, letting go cards. Release what does not allow you to embody the law of destiny and free will. Releasing anything that does not allow you to experience the law of soul guidance and guardianship, and so that you can allow things to come together for you in such a way that you are in the process releasing victimhood and fear, so that your final outcome, Great Mother is saying that by working with these energies that are so bountiful in the cosmos and within us and within you and your collective celestial unconsciousness, we are made of stars. We're made of the same things as stars except for hydrogen and helium, which are native to this earth planet that allow us to crystallize into form, in the physical form. So all of these energies are us. They run through us, and it's like waves of energy. And so she's saying as you work with these energies that she's coming through and sharing with you, you are going to establish those boundaries that you need. Hey, you have another new moon card. I didn't see that in your composition over here to the side, but you have Wild Woman as your new moon. Okay, this is your lunar new year, and you have boundaries. So we have in our outcome positions, possible outcome, this Wild Woman, and then the Jesus release in 6 months. And so by the time your next lunar new year comes, you will have established those boundaries where that kind of stuff in terms of whether or not people trust your integrity, your psychic wisdom, your intuitive abilities, your insights is so important now. You will have completely processed that, owned your integrity, okay, owned and experienced synthesis, through the full moons, throughout the year, through the 6 months period of soul guidance and guardianship, you're listening to that intuitive voice, you're listening to that empathic insight, then you're going to experience that guidance and guardianship, aren't you? So that by this time next year, if not sooner, those of you who are already seeing the blessings, you're probably experiencing this now. Strong boundaries with people that you never thought that you'd be able to establish, situations and circumstances that no longer serve you in a way that you can fulfill your destiny and free will. And what are boundaries? Boundaries are what is okay and what is not okay, and living according to that in the moment. It changes, doesn't it? And so not in a Pollyannish fashion, but in a way that actually allows us to experience our divinity, to know that we are loved, to feel the guardianship, to feel that we are not condemned or judged. The ultimate judgment, and all judgment, begins with ourselves. And so we have to establish boundaries with ourselves first and stop us from certain behaviors first. And the integrity that we have is one of self-love first. I love doing my coaching work because there's so many things and exercises that we do that people get on track with that so quickly and so effectively. I absolutely love it. Boundaries, what we do is we work with boundaries in terms of, first of all, defining them. You know, what is okay with you now in the situation that you're most concerned with? What's not okay? What is it that you need to do in terms of establishing the boundaries now that you've said, well, this is okay, this is not okay? How do you establish it in that relationship, in that situation? We work through all of that. And then finally, the weekly maintenance of that boundary, shifting of that boundary into then actually working on what it is that we want to create in our lives. So feel free to go to greatmotherspeaks.info for coaching and for your moon sign reading. Your specific moon sign reading is a phenomenal opportunity to get in touch with specifically what Great Mother is saying to you, not only for this lunar cycle, but for the year, for your lunar new year. Your lunar new year is actually on your birthday. Your actual birthday. So again, these are collective readings, and they do give a great deal of information for your collective celestial unconsciousness, and I hope they have helped you with what you can do in working with these energies for this new moon in Aquarius, Pisces, Aries cusp in the west. The new moon wishes for you, of course, have to do with wanting to release the tendency to feel helpless, to not be in touch with your inner joy, and wanting to develop a habit of trusting your mystic awareness and things of that manner. So again, thanks for watching, liking, and sharing, but above all and most of all, that Great Mother loves you, and I do too.